Hey Facebook, welcome to Life with Annie. My name is Annie and this is my life. And as I told you yesterday when I stopped in to chat with you a minute, today is Matt's birthday and this is the cake that he wanted me to fix for him. This is like the easiest cake you'll ever make. It is the moistest cake or most moist cake you'll ever make, and he loves it, so which made it easy for me. So let's get started with what we've done here. All you need for this cake, let me grab my box, you just need a box cake mix. Now the recipe calls for the white cake mix, but I've made it with the classic yellow, so whatever you have on hand, whatever you want to use, but I would just stick with a plain base cake. The box calls for egg whites and water and oil, and I always use whole eggs in my cake mixes. And I even heard a tip once that to make a cake mix taste a little less like a mix, to add an extra egg. This one calls for 3. I only put 3 in this one. And instead of the water, I usually use just milk for mine. I just kind of try to jazz it up just a little bit. And then I did use the oil in this one. But sometimes, depending on what I'm making, most of the time I make my cakes from scratch because I'm not a big fan of the mix. But in this case, I don't think it really matters because it's so good from everything else that you put on it that I don't think you'll notice that it's a mix so much. So start with a mix. And I've already baked the cake, and you bake it, like I said, according to their directions or however you want to change it up. And I've got it in a 9 by 13 inch dish. And this is how it's going to stay. It'll stay in this dish in the refrigerator. Now, all you do is you're going to poke holes all over the cake. And I've seen this done where they actually use like the tip of a wooden spoon and make really big holes in it. But I usually just do it with a fork. That's just my preference, but you can use whatever. I've seen them do it with a straw, and I don't quite understand why they do that because the cake gets all up in the straw and you lose all that cake. But anyway, this is the way I made it. I made it at Easter, and the cake was gone in just a few days, and Matt really loves this cake. So I think when he was a young boy, his mother used to make just a plain, and it probably was from a mix, I'm not sure, a plain yellow cake, and then they would just put it in a bowl and pour milk over it. And I think this is kind of reminiscent of that for him, so maybe that's why he likes it so much. Okay, so I think we've got enough holes. You can just poke as many holes as you want in there because we're going to pour all kinds of goodness over it. I think that's good. Okay. Alright. You're going to need a can of cream of coconut. And when I first started making this cake, I never could find this. So I would end up buying something like this. This is coconut milk. And I used this a few times and it worked fine. And then someone said that, I think it was actually Matt, why don't we go look in the section where they sell the stuff for drinks, you know, like your daiquiri mixes and that kind of thing. He is so smart. And sure enough, there it was. So if you have trouble finding it, go to the section in your store where they sell the daiquiri mixes and the gigantic olives for your drinks and the cherries for your drinks and that kind of thing. And all you're going to do, I shook it up a little bit. I didn't see that it said that on there, but I might have missed it. And you just drizzle that all over your cake so that it gets down in all those little holes that you just made. The whole can. This is not for anyone who's on a diet or watching their weight. Okay, and the next thing you need to add is a can of sweetened condensed milk, also known in the South as Eagle brand milk. That's just how we refer to it. I know there are other brands, but we just call it Eagle brand. And you pour that whole can, and this is just liquid sugar. You pour that all over. It's kind of like a tres leches cake in a way. The one I made at Easter, and I don't think I'm going to do it on this one, and I don't know why I did it on that one. I guess I just assumed that's what it needed. But I poured a can of regular evaporated milk on top of it as well. I don't know, maybe I should, because that's the cake that he loved. I don't know if I'll put the whole thing, because I think my pan's going to fill up. Maybe just a little bit. And give that a shake. And I see some people there. Let me see if I can read today. Hey Janet. Hey Melissa. Hey Bev. Yes, today is Matt's birthday. It is his day, and I told him last night when we went out and got a bite to eat, I said, now I'll take you out for your birthday, so you just need to pick where you want to go. So I don't know if he's going to want to go tonight or tomorrow, but it's all up to him. But I don't think I'm going to pour the whole can on this one. I think I'm just going to pour part of it. But I did pour all three on the last one I made. I just loved it. Like I said, this is probably going to be the most moist cake you'll ever eat. And that's it. And you're going to just kind of let that kind of soak down into your cake. And then you're going to need to add whipped topping all over it. And I probably should let it set a while and do that. I'll see if I can get this to spread. I usually let it set though. Grab a spoon. Do a little bit of it. Almost there. You get the idea. And all that's going to soak down. Well, the Cool Whip won't soak down, but all that other liquid's going to soak down, seep down into that cake. Oh, it's so good. And then the last thing you do is you sprinkle some coconut. So if you're not a coconut lover, this may not be the cake for you, because that cream of coconut definitely tastes like coconut. But you could always make it and just pour the Eagle brand milk over it and some canned milk, and have that same moist cake. Now, is that not the easiest cake? Top Melissa makes the same cake topped with strawberries. So good. I've inspired her to bake today. Well, good. All right. So that is Matt's birthday cake. That was his request. And I'm happy because it wasn't a lot of work for me. And I know that he loves it. So that's a win-win. All right, let me dry my hands off here. Now I do have, and I'll just put these on here just to kind of show you, but I do have some candles, and these are my safari candles. And I've got some, I think these are cheetah or leopard. I'll stick some of those in, because he's only 27, I think. But I still don't have 27 candles. And then we've got some tigers. And we all know he's a Clemson tiger, so we got to put some of those in there. And we've got some zebra. I see all these animals on my safari drives every day except for the tiger. They're in China or India or somewhere. They're not in Africa. And then we've got the giraffe. Put a few of those in there. Now you do have to keep this cake in the refrigerator because of course you've got your Cool Whip and your other liquids on there. And then I got this yesterday. Stopped at the store, and it's just a little happy birthday banner that I'm just gonna stick on there. Okay. All right. So there is Cameraman Matt's birthday cake, and I hope he enjoys it. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. I'll refrigerate it in just a minute. However, who can have a birthday cake and not have ice cream? So, we're going to make some homemade ice cream. And this is called machineless, L-E-S-S. You don't have to have an ice cream churn of any kind. Yes, it is good, Beb. You should try it if you haven't already. It is a very good cake. Thank you, Melissa. I will pass your messages on wishing Matt a happy birthday. Okay, so the machineless ice cream. It's really 3 ingredients you need, and it's easy to remember. It's 2 cups of heavy whipping cream and 1 can of Eagle brand milk or sweetened condensed milk. So I've got my heavy whipping cream in here. I froze everything. I put my bowl, my whisk in the freezer and let it sit in the freezer and it was really frosty when I took it out. And I'll turn it down in just a minute. I just want to get this last little whip going. So I'm doubling it. I've got a whole, instead of 2 cups, I'm using, what's this, a pint? So I'm doubling it, and it is the heavy whipping cream. Make sure you get the heavy, not the half and half, not the, whatever the others are. Just get heavy. Okay. I think I might be getting there. Let's see. Got my little tester spoon here. Yeah, I think we're okay. That for now, because you're going to stick it back in the freezer anyway. So let me take my little whisk off. Okay. Move some stuff out of the way here. Okay. So we've got our cream whipped. And what you'll do is I'm going to add half of that cream to a bowl and 1 container of the Eagle brand milk. Now, I was trying to decide what flavor of ice cream to make for Matt, and I thought, well, I really don't know what his favorite flavor is. So I know that he likes a chocolate cherry kind of ice cream that he had when he was younger, but I thought, what about some cookie dough ice cream? So there is a recipe out there for edible cookie dough, and we're going to make some, because we're going to make part of this chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. So let me get my other, and that is coconut poke cake. I will post these recipes on Life with Annie, of course. This is the edible cookie dough recipe for 2. So it's perfect for this because, or if you just want to sit, some people just like to sit around and eat cookie dough, you know, raw cookie dough. So since this doesn't have any eggs in it, you can do that. But it makes a small enough portion that I can use it for our ice cream here. So let's get started with that. Got a bowl here. You need 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Got that there. And 2 tablespoons of soft butter, which I have right here. That's 2 tablespoons there. Okay, and let's see, salt and vanilla, and it's 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of vanilla. So I have these cute little spoons. I don't know where I got them. Hey Esther, how are you? Are you from Kansas? Hays, Kansas? Welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us today. And I hope you'll come back many more times. We love having new people on. So I found these little things, these little bitty spoons somewhere. One's a smidgen, one's a pinch, and one's a dash. And it says 1/8 of a teaspoon. So I'm going to go with, for the salt, I'm just going to do this little smidgen. Because I know you need a little salt for sweet, but I don't want to put too much. And then for the vanilla, 1/8 a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna bump it up to the pinch because we like vanilla. So, and it's hard to pour in that teeny tiny little. Okay, so there's our vanilla, and you need a tablespoon of milk. Now it says to use your hands and go ahead and start kind of mushing that together. So I'm just going to use a fork and get that process started. Y'all can see. Get that butter nice and mixed in with your brown sugar. And then you add a tablespoon of milk. So we'll go ahead and get that in there. 1 tablespoon of milk. I have never tried this ice cream before. I'm in charge of your next birthday, Melissa. Well, I don't see why we couldn't make some homemade ice cream. Okay, the milk is in there, and then you need to add 5 tablespoons of flour, which I already have the flour measured out here. So I'm just going to add a little bit at a time and get that mixed together. And like I say, this recipe is chocolate chip cookie dough for 2. It's the edible kind without the eggs. So, no worries there. But it's perfect. It's a perfect amount for the ice cream that we're making. And one last little bit of flour, and that is done. And then you add, for the final ingredient, 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips, which I have here. We'll add those in. Get in there, Mr. Chip. All right, and stir it around. Now, I already have made a batch of this, and I put it in the freezer so that it would be a little bit easier to put little pieces into the mixture, because you don't want it to be, you know, kind of soft like this. It'll just blend all into your cream. So I'm gonna put this one in the freezer, but this is what it looks like. This is your edible chocolate chip cookie dough. Let's have a little sneak taste of it. I'm gonna get a chocolate chip in there too. Can't you just see some people just making this up and sitting in front of the TV watching a movie eating their chocolate chip cookie dough? That's good. Okay, let me put this one in. Let me go grab the one I already made. Okay, so here is our frozen, sorta, yeah, pretty well done, edible cookie dough. And you can just break little chunks off and drop it down in your ice cream and stir it up. Voila, there you go. All right, so what we've got to do is decide. We're going to do chocolate chip cookie dough, and I didn't know what I should do for the other flavor. I have lots of options. I have some frozen strawberries here that my mother got for me. I could cut up some strawberries and put in to the other batch. I can try to do a play on what Matt used to eat when he was younger. The brand of ice cream, I think you could get it at a Kroger. We don't have a Kroger here. But we used to find it down at the beach when we would be down there. At that store, and he would find some. It's like a dark, I'm not sure what it was, but it was cherries. It had chocolate in it, so we could do something like that for him. You could also, I have some, if you like mint chocolate chip, buy some mint flavoring, put some chocolate chips in it, put a little green food coloring, and you can make mint chocolate chip. And then you can always make vanilla. This is a vanilla bean. They're expensive. You get like 2 beans in one of these little jars, but you could cut down the bean, scrape out the little seeds, and put those into the base of your ice cream, and do that. Chocolate, you could put some chocolate syrup, you know, in it, and make chocolate. I mean, it's just whatever you like. You could put raspberry cheesecake in it. You could cut up, you know, like buy a frozen raspberry cheesecake, cut it up, put that in there. You could just do whatever you want to do. So let me grab a bowl and start on this chocolate chip one. Right here. All right, so we need to put about half of this in here. And actually, I'm going to start with just a little bit and kind of add the Eagle brand so that I'm not going to weigh down the whole thing, and just kind of stir it in. So technically, it's 2 ingredients, and then the third is whatever flavor ice cream you want to make. Alright, so let's put the rest of our cream in here. fold it around. Looks pretty good. So I'm just going to take some of the chocolate here and I'm just going to break it up into little pieces. It's pretty frozen, or you know, it's workable. You can work with it, but you don't want it to be warm, room temperature, like that other batch was. You can put all kinds of sizes. You want bigger chunks, smaller chunks, whatever. There's a video on YouTube, I think the girl's name is Gemma, Jemma, that I don't know if she started this, came up with this, but anyway, she does all kinds of videos with doing different flavors. So I would like to do a butter pecan myself. So you could cook up some pecans in some butter and then kind of mix those in after they cool. All right. Nice little bit here. And then I'll eat the rest in the bowl. There's not much left anyway. Okay, so there is our cookie dough. Let me just get my hands around. I'm just going to gently stir that in. And with that other batch of cookie dough that I have back there in the freezer, if he decides to make a bowl and he wants to top it with some more cookie dough, he can do that. He can drizzle some chocolate syrup, caramel syrup. We'll see how it comes out when it's frozen, so we'll know. All right, so there is that. Now the second one, I'm not quite sure what flavor to make. I'm kind of leaning toward the cherry and the chocolate, but put a little bit in here and get the Eagle brand. Kind of working it in. But if this turns out good, I mean, I think it's just a great, easy way to make ice cream when your kids are going to be out for the summer from school and it's a hot day. You just need these two things, and even if you don't have any other ingredients, just put a little bit of vanilla in there, liquid vanilla. Break up candy bars and put in there. You could buy the little sandwich cookies, Oreos, and break those up, and you've got your cookies and cream. I mean, you can just go wild. Just go hog wild. All right, so I'm gonna put the last of our whipped topping in here. I hope this bowl's big enough. Should have probably grabbed a bigger bowl, but that's okay. That's okay. So I guess on your birthday you can eat whatever and not feel guilty about it. So that's what we're going to do with Matt today. All right. Mix this all around. Get that Eagle brand in the whipping cream, nice and blended. And y'all, I think I'm going to do the cherry and the chocolate because I know that was a childhood favorite of his. So I'm going to drain some of this off, this juice, and grab a bowl. I'm going to put some chocolate in there. Then I'm gonna put up some cherries. Just a small chop. I'm not gonna do anything real tiny because I like big chunks of cherries in mine. You could put bananas in it. And I'm gonna keep on doing that until I get the right amount of cherries in there with our mixture. I'll just show you how I'm gonna package these up. Set this off to the side. Remember, one of the main things you need to do is to freeze your bowl whenever you're gonna make whipping cream. Make sure it's nice and cold so that your cream will whip up. And your beater. Put your beater in there also. Alright, let me grab some containers and I'll show you with our chocolate chip one what I'm going to do. Set that right there and out of your way. Okay. So what I'll do, I've got these little small containers so that we can not put everything in one big thing and we can just take individual portions out of the freezer. So we'll just put some in here. Then you can just eat straight out of your little container here. I see all the nice chunks of the cookie dough going in. And just put a top on it. Pop it in the freezer, let it freeze up, and hopefully you'll have some really tasteful, machine-less ice cream. Alright, so I hope that Matt is having a wonderful day on his birthday, and he's going to have a giant piece of cake when he comes home. Hey Elizabeth, hey Katie, hey Brandy. Anyway, I've got a lot of mixing and packing up to do, filling my freezer with all kinds of delicious ice cream. And remember, do keep your cake in the refrigerator. It won't last long if people in your house love the coconut. It will not last long, I promise you. It is extremely moist, it is extremely delicious. So, I guess I will talk to you again real soon, hopefully. I'm going to spend the rest of my day cleaning up. I might even sneak in a nap or two, who knows. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all the new viewers. You can share my videos if you would like to and invite your other friends to watch. Sometimes we have a lot of fun on here. Take care, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye.